If you are a Christian and still suffer from type 2 diabetes, I am going to teach you right now the recipe that emptied the diabetes ward of the hospital where I volunteered in Israel. I understand this might sound too good to be true, but I need you to pay close attention. This is the last time I can share this before they take this video down. If you have never tried this, you might be ignoring one of the most powerful natural tools that exists to see numbers below 90 on your glucose meter. When you start using this and your blood sugar drops below 90 for the first time in years, you will understand why I had to share it with you. When I volunteered at a major hospital in Israel, I was shocked. The amputation ward was empty, and for 1 year, I attended to only 2 diabetic patients. While here in the United States, 37 million suffer from this disease, and every 4 minutes an amputation happens. The hospital director showed me the data, proving why Israel had the lowest rate of type 2 diabetes in the world. There, they do not manage this disease with metformin that destroys your stomach, or Ozempic that costs $1,000 a month, or insulin injections that keep you dependent for life. They have never needed any of that. They do what they call the holy oil trick, a recipe that mixes an oil mentioned in the Bible itself in Exodus 30 with extract of 3 natural spices that you probably already have in your kitchen.
It was only when I went to film The Chosen that I discovered that there are almost no diabetics in Israel because they use this holy oil trick.
And the best part is that once your blood sugar levels go down, they stay that way. And that changes everything.
Last month was my granddaughter's birthday. She made a chocolate cake from scratch and saved me the first slice. And for the first time in years, I ate it. No spike, no panic, no guilt. Since I started doing the holy oil trick, my glucose has not gone above 93. I forgot what it felt like to just eat with my family and not be afraid.
Big Pharma has tried to hide this for decades. They know that if all Americans treated the disease with something natural that costs a few dollars a day, they would collapse. That is why whenever we post a video with the recipe's ingredients, it gets taken down. But what you are about to watch right now is the only video that has not been censored yet. Dr. Mark Hyman recorded a confidential video exposing the exact protocol behind this holy oil trick that anyone can do at home. More than 14,000 Americans saw their blood sugar plummet after they started doing the protocol that Dr. Hyman teaches. You only need a few pennies to prepare it and drip a few drops before your breakfast. But pay attention. It is no use just mixing the ingredients any old way. The secret is in the exact ratio that activates your body's capacity to produce its own insulin and eliminate any excess sugar in the blood. That is exactly what Dr. Hyman reveals step by step. But I need to warn you, what he exposes in this video goes far beyond a recipe. He reveals how the pharmaceutical industry made $75 billion last year keeping diabetics trapped on medications that were never designed to cure anything. So do not close this window under any circumstances. Pfizer and the pharmaceutical lobby have already had this taken down twice. We do not know how much longer it will stay up. If you are still here and the video is loading, God put this in front of you for a reason. Watch until the very end. Write down every step, because once you see what they have been hiding from you, you will never let them control your health again. You know that is real. It is starting right now.
Hi, my name is Michael Sullivan. First off, I want to congratulate you for taping that button and making it here. Most people with diabetes are terrified of looking this thing in the eye, and honestly, I get it. But if you're a person of faith, and I have a feeling you are, then you know there's a solution for every struggle we face in this life. And I'm living proof of that. For 9 years, I woke up every day afraid to look at the numbers on my glucometer. My legs tingled at night, and I could barely play with my children without getting out of breath. I weighed 171 pounds, was taking 3 different medications, and yet my glucose levels only worsened. Today, 3 months later, I weigh 109 pounds, my blood sugar is normal without any medication, and last week I played soccer with my son for a whole hour. When I visited my doctor, he said, "I don't know what you're doing, but whatever it is, keep going." What you're about to watch is a report featuring Dr. Mark Hyman that was only on the air for about 23 minutes before it was pulled down. Nobody knows exactly why, but the journalists and the film crew were basically told never to speak of it again. So I need you to really lock in and pay attention to what's coming next, because you won't find this report on YouTube or anywhere else. Even icons like Dolly Parton have opened up about how this discovery completely turned her life around. What you're going to see here is the secret behind an ancient combination of oils mentioned in the Holy Scriptures. This is a blend cited in the Bible and used in ancient times, not just for anointing, but to restore vitality and purify the body, the temple of the Holy Spirit, from the inside out. It targets the root of the metabolic stagnation that modern science is only just now starting to understand. Hundreds of people watching this video right now are finally experiencing what I call blood sugar peace. They're reporting a level of mental clarity they haven't felt in decades, the end of that scary tingling in their hands and feet, and most importantly, the pure joy of seeing their doctors' faces when they're able to drastically cut back on their prescriptions. That's exactly what happened for me. So, Get comfortable and listen closely. The video is starting now.
Tonight, we investigate how thousands of diabetics across America are reversing type 2 using an ancient biblical remedy known as the holy oil trick, a simple recipe that costs less than $1 and, according to researchers at Harvard and Munich, restores a green protein that controls blood sugar naturally. No injections, no metformin, no $1,500 prescriptions. Here's what truly shocked investigators. People following this 10-second morning ritual are reversing their type 2 and getting off insulin in less than 28 days. For the first time in history, scientists and pastors are on the same page when it comes to type 2. In fact, they're all calling it God's instruction manual for beating diabetes. Tonight, we're going to share how thousands of everyday Americans are easily reversing their type 2 diabetes with it. But that's not all. Jonathan Rumi, the actor who plays Jesus in The Chosen, says this holy oil trick saved someone he loves. To understand how such results are possible, check out this exclusive video Jonathan sent us.
Can I be honest with you? My aunt was almost dying from diabetes. Her vision was blurry, her feet were numb, and she had a painful, throbbing wound that wouldn't heal no matter what she did. For years, she blamed herself. Too much food, too old, maybe God forgot about her. So I started searching, and I found Dr. Mark Hyman, Harvard-trained, 35 years treating diabetics. He revealed a holy oil trick that restores a green protein that controls your blood sugar. My aunt tried it 10 seconds a day. 28 days later, her glucose went from 260 to under 100. The wound started healing. Her doctor couldn't explain it. Look, I'm not here to sell anything, but I'm a believer, and I think you need to see this.
It's truly astonishing that a 10-second biblical ritual costing less than $1 could be doing what $1,500 Ozempic injections can't. What you're about to see has been taken down 5 times. We tracked down Dolly, a 79-year-old believer who tried this holy oil trick when doctors gave her no hope. Her story will shock you.
Millions of diabetics should be cursing me. I was part of the damn bloody system that cashes in on every amputation, blindness, and heart attack triggered by diabetes. Even against my will, I was an accomplice, and it haunts me. But today, I'm going to spit in the face of those suited-up mafia members. Those vultures grin behind closed doors as real people's feet turn black, rot, and get cut away. And they grin again, while deadly glucose spikes leave you exhausted and chained for life to insulin shots and metformin pills. To them, every diabetic is just another future corpse to harvest profits from. If I seem outraged, it's because I am. This isn't just a video. It's an expose, even bigger than Big Tobacco in the 90s. Because yes, there is a natural, safe, and sacred solution that can reverse type 2 diabetes in only 30 days. And even though it has been quoted over 200 times in the Bible, it's been intentionally buried by pharmaceutical giants like Pfizer and Eli Lilly. Every time someone gets cured, Big Pharma's revenue drops, the shareholders complain, and the CEO scrambles to claw that money back. But to do that, they follow the same old script: sabotage, censor, and persecute. And if you think this is an exaggeration, listen to what I'm sharing here. Then decide if I'm crazy, or if these fat cats have been manipulating American health for decades. In this video, I'll expose the 7-second green protein test that predicts diabetic coma with 89% accuracy, what never to eat if your morning glucose is above 126, this healthy food blocks your insulin, and how a holy oil trick has been shown to be the key to reversing type 2 diabetes in just 30 days. Look, they don't want you to see the real, undeniable proof that I'm sharing today. They don't want you to see the real results from people who've been set free from diabetes. Heck, they sicked the FDA on me. I saw it happen. I was there. I didn't hear about it. But you know what? Damn it. I proved to the FDA and the American government that it's possible to reverse diabetes. I proved that people who suffered from diabetes for decades were cured, proof so overwhelming they had no choice but to approve it as the first non-diet treatment for diabetes that actually works. Which means what I'm revealing today has nothing to do with starving yourself, choking down salads, or even sweating in a gym. And yes, it's already set thousands of everyday Americans free from type 2 diabetes and prediabetes.
I learned it from Dr. Mark Hyman. His new diabetes treatment made my morning glucose drop from 280 to 140 in 1 month. Now, 6 months later, my A1C is 5.3 and I'm off all diabetes medications.
Honestly, I was terrified. My vision was becoming blurry and my blood sugar was over 200, even with metformin. 3 weeks into Dr. Hyman's new treatment and my blood sugar stays around 95 no matter what I eat.
I haven't taken a diabetes medication in 8 months, and my last A1C was 5.2.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mark Hyman, and these people are the final proof that this holy oil trick flat out works. Whether you're 30, 50, or 80 years old, whether you were diagnosed yesterday or if you've been fighting this disease for decades, the only thing that matters is using it in the right way, because it has been proven to work 97% of the time. I can't stand the suffering of people while they drink champagne in boardroom meetings. Real people are watching their necrotic feet get sawed off. Mothers are being mutilated in hospitals. Parents are burying their children. Do you really think they care about you? They need you to stay sick. They hope you stay dependent on metformin, insulin, neuropathy, drugs, eye drops, and ointments. You are an asset to them, a barcode. But you can get out of this today because there's an escape. Real, natural, proven. And that's why I recorded this video. To incinerate the billion-dollar profits of Big Pharma with something you might already have in your house. Believe me, the true power in medicine already exists in nature. Everything was created in perfection, and those who spoil it are the wicked humans who care only about their own interests. This might be the last time you see me online, but if you or someone you love has type 2 diabetes, watch this video to the end, and I guarantee you'll never have to spend on medications again. And you'll reverse your diabetes in up to 30 days. Hey, it's a pleasure to be here with you right now. My name is Dr. Mark Hyman, and if we haven't met yet, let me quickly introduce myself.
Dr. Mark Hyman has over 35 years of clinical experience. During that time, he served as the director of the endocrinology department at the Cleveland Clinic. He is also the author of over 15 best-selling books translated into more than 20 languages, with 32 million copies sold worldwide. Among them are The Blood Sugar Solution and Young Forever. All that work made him become the doctor of Hollywood stars, A-list athletes, multi-billionaires, and politicians like Bill and Hillary Clinton, along with frequent appearances on shows like CBS This Morning, TED Talks, CNN, Dr. Oz, The View, and The Today Show. With you guys, Dr. Mark Hyman.
You see, despite having all this Ivy League training and decades of experience, I gotta say that all of that meant nothing when my mother was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. You see, I had access to everything. The newest medications and treatments that weren't even available to the public yet. So if anyone should have been able to help his diabetic mother, it should have been the doctor inside this damn dirty system, right? But I watched the same old medical advice failing her. I saw Trulicity and metformin rotting her stomach from the inside out. That was when I started deep diving in something called functional medicine, a medical specialty where we focus on the root cause of illness, not just the symptoms. That flip in my career makes me feel 100% sure that I can guide you to lower your blood sugar and finally reverse your type 2 diabetes. Because it was this very flip that made me unveil a holy oil trick that completely reversed all type 2 diabetes symptoms for my mom. And that's the same biblical secret that's already freed over 14,000 Americans from Big Pharma's insulin and metformin prison. You see, my mom was always our family's fortress, but I watched diabetes eat her alive. Every morning started the same. Jab her finger, watch the blood come out, then stare at the number hoping it wasn't bad enough to destroy her whole day. Her feet and legs burned like hell. She said it felt pretty much like walking on hot coals. And the look on her face when she had to deny her favorite dessert at family dinners, it broke me. But as surprising as it sounds, she never said a word. Just kept cooking, kept smiling, even while her body was betraying her. But this whole type 2 diabetes diagnosis didn't add up. Because my mom followed all medical laws to the letter, she went for a walk 5 times a week, ate salad and vegetables for every meal, and just had sweets on weekends or some rare occasions. She was also the only person in my entire family diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. So when you really think about it, you realize how the old claims of diabetes being caused by genetics, age, or diet is just not true. There was something missing that made my mom deal with diabetes. This very disease that soars glucose levels and destroys every cell of your body. In my mom's case, she really hit rock bottom in 2020. Back then, I got a call directly from her. She was trying to keep it together, but I could hear the panic cracking through her voice, while my chest felt like it was being crushed. She begged me to come home to spend a few days with her and my father. At first, she didn't want to scare me with the details, but I knew something horrific was happening. When I pressed her, she finally broke down. She told me that in the past few weeks, her condition had gone to hell. My mom's glucose hit 320, and she passed out in the kitchen. Luckily, my father was there to help. At the time, I already knew that the sugar inside her veins was so violently high that it had crystallized in her eyes, which blurred her vision, leaving her seeing a world grayer and lifeless. According to her optometrist, if she didn't fix her diabetes, she would be blind by 2025. As a doctor, I saw her kidney markers, and they shocked me to the bone. It was clear that she was on the path to needing hemodialysis 3 times a week. And that made me remember being 7 years old with a scraped knee and how she'd scoop me up and carry me inside, singing softly until the pain went away, always my protector, always invincible. This picture of my mom, my hero, made me hit pause on everything I was doing in my career. I really dropped everything and focused on one thing, saving my mom from type 2 diabetes. That decision made me stumble across the 2014 Nobel Prize in Chemistry, the super resolution fluorescence microscopy. When this microscope won the Nobel Prize, I was sure it was just one more fancy and useless discovery that would just gather dust in the lab. But I was dead wrong. Because years later, in 2019, when this microscope was more available, researchers at Munich University made what the most trustable medical institutions in the world are calling arguably the greatest medical breakthrough since organ transplants. Scientists at Munich University released a study with the title, Super Resolution Fluorescence Microscopy Unveils a Green Molecule as a Potential New Cause of Type 2 Diabetes. In this study, Dr. Klaus Weber, the lead researcher, analyzed over 180 different cells from type 2 diabetics and completely healthy people. But when they looked at the insulin of these people, the hormone that every doctor talks about when the topic is diabetes, they realized a huge, never-seen-before difference in insulin cells from healthy and diabetic people. The insulin from healthy people was completely surrounded by these bright green molecules, like dozens of tiny magnets stuck to metal. But in diabetics, the insulin had way less of these green molecules, and as shocking as it sounds, the worst case of diabetes, the less of these green dots diabetics had. This image you're seeing on the left is from a healthy, diabetes-free patient. The one in the middle is from a patient with an A1C of 7.2%. But the one you are seeing on the right is from another patient with 8.7%. Can you see how the worse the diabetes case, the less of these green dots there's? For the first time in human history, we could see, not guess, not theorize, but literally watch with our own eyes that there was something missing in diabetic people. This finding left me with two burning questions. What the hell were these green dots? And why were they abandoning diabetics' insulin like rats fleeing a sinking ship? So I did what any obsessed scientist would do. I hunted down every researcher involved in that Munich study. I needed answers, but that's when things got really weird. Dr. Klaus Weber, the lead researcher, retired at 43 years old, no forwarding email, no phone number, no trace of the guy anywhere. A brilliant researcher doesn't just vanish after publishing groundbreaking diabetes research. The same thing happened to every single scientist. They were all gone. Then I found out these same researchers had published a second study just 2 months after the one revealing these green molecules. The title? Mediterranean Oil Compound Reverses, Type 2 Diabetes. What was weird about it was the fact it felt like this study was not meant to be released. It was only posted in one medical journal for exactly 8 weeks, then deleted, not retracted with an explanation, not disputed by peers, just erased. The page now gives a 404 error. I spent 3 months trying to track down that study. I was about to give up when I found a cached version on an old Russian medical database. It turns out these groups of brilliant scientists have finally discovered what these green molecules were, what was causing them to disappear and trigger type 2 diabetes, and more importantly, they found something that made them stay on the same page as pastors all across the globe, because they found a holy oil cited over 200 times in the Bible that is able to restore those missing green molecules and actually reverse type 2 diabetes. Even in people considered lost cases, you see, this discovery starts with why insulin is literally the only thing standing between you and a diabetic coma. Dr. Sanjay Gupta, a good friend of mine, break it down perfectly.
Look, after you swallow food, your body rips it apart, transforming it into raw glucose. Once this glucose floods your bloodstream, your body pumps out a hormone called insulin to escort that sugar to your cells. But why is that important? Because in order for any of your cells to get energy, they must have glucose. It's just like a campfire needs firewood. So your insulin is really crucial because it not only makes your cells receive glucose to turn it into energy, they also take the sugar out of your bloodstream. That's why it's literally impossible for your blood sugar to spike when your insulin is working the way God designed it.
So let me show you exactly what Dr. Sanjay Gupta just exposed. Insulin is like a delivery truck, and blood sugar is the cargo. So insulin trucks race through your bloodstream loaded up with sugar, hauling it to your cells before it starts rotting your blood from the inside out. When this works perfectly, your morning glucose stays clean, around 85 to 99 mg/dL, no matter if you had pancakes or ice cream the night before. You wake up refreshed instead of exhausted. Your vision is crystal clear. Your feet don't burn. Your energy doesn't crash at 2 p.m. Life feels normal, the way it's supposed to feel. But when insulin stops working, when those delivery trucks can't deliver their cargo, you don't stand a chance. That's insulin resistance. When your insulin trucks can't deliver their cargo, and you know what happens to all that sugar that insulin can't deliver? It just piles up in your blood like a 50-car pileup on the highway, making you hit a glucose of 200 mg/dL, 250, 300. Some people hit 400 or higher. And that's when your body starts falling apart. First, the sugar starts shredding your nerves like glass. That's why your feet feel like they're on fire, burning with a pain that never stops. Then this excess glucose clouds your eyes as sugar crystals form inside your lenses. You also start feeling exhausted down to the bone, even after a good night of sleep. All because insulin, the hormone that was supposed to protect you, supposed to take the sugar out of your blood, well, all because insulin stopped working. For decades, scientists have been ripping their hair out, trying to solve the one mystery that's kept 38 million Americans trapped in this diabetes prison. Why the hell does insulin just stop working? Some doctors swore up and down that diabetics simply quit producing insulin altogether. It made sense, right? If there's no insulin, of course sugar can't get delivered to your cells, making it pile up in your blood. If this theory was actually true, you just need to inject yourself with insulin a couple times a day, pop some metformin, and boom, you're cured. Which sounds like a goddamn jackpot to Big Pharma, because that's what leads to billions of dollars in insulin sales. But in 2019, Harvard dropped a bomb that destroyed this entire theory. They took 847 type 2 diabetics and measured their insulin levels against healthy people. The insulin levels were identical. Diabetics and healthy people had the exact same amount of insulin pumping through their veins, sometimes even more. But somehow, despite having an entire fleet of delivery trucks racing through their bloodstream, sugar wasn't being delivered as it should. Jason Fung from Harvard called it the most devastating contradiction in modern medicine.
Diabetics' blood is flooded with insulin and sugar, but for some reason their insulin can't deliver it to the cells. It's like watching a rescue team show up to a burning building and just stand there, doing nothing.
So if insulin production isn't the problem, if diabetics have more than enough insulin trucks loaded up and ready to go, then what the hell is stopping them from delivering their cargo? And that's exactly where the 2014 Nobel Prize in Chemistry rips the doors off this entire mystery. As I said earlier, scientists invented a microscope that lets you watch molecules move in real time 1,000 times closer than any technology before it. So a team of scientists at Munich University aimed this Nobel Prize-winning super microscope directly at insulin itself. They were desperate to understand what the hell was blocking insulin from doing its job. And what they saw on that screen made every scientist in the room go dead silent. On the left, you're looking at insulin from a completely healthy person, and notice how it's absolutely flooded with these glowing green molecules. On the right, that's insulin from a diabetic. Look at it. The green is almost completely gone. The most interesting thing is, they also found out that the worse someone's diabetes was, the more those green molecules vanished from their insulin. It was a perfect pattern, no exceptions. For example, on the left is insulin from someone with 150 mg DL blood sugar. You can still see some green, but it's fading fast. And on the right is insulin from someone with 300 mg DL. See how the green dots disappear as diabetes gets worse? The pattern was perfect across all 180 patients they studied. More diabetes equals fewer green molecules. Every single time? Now you might be thinking, what the hell are these green things? In 2021, Fox News' medical correspondent broke it down.
German scientists using the Nobel Prize microscope have discovered a green protein called GLUT, 4-coding insulin in healthy patients, but completely vanished in diabetics. Harvard is calling this the missing link that could unlock the first true diabetes cure in human history.
Ultimately, what these German scientists from Munich University found is that these green molecules are a protein called GLUT4, and this is where everything clicks into place in the most terrifying way possible. Remember how insulin acts like a delivery truck hauling sugar through your blood? Well, GLUT4 is the fuel that powers those trucks. Without GLUT4, your insulin is literally running on empty. It can load up with all the sugar in your bloodstream every last grain, but it's not going anywhere. It just sits there, stalled, useless. It's like having a Ferrari with an empty tank. Perfect machine, useless without fuel. That means if your insulin is starving for GLUT4, it physically cannot remove sugar from your blood. That's why Harvard proved that diabetics have plenty of insulin but still can't lower their blood sugar. They're not missing insulin. They're simply missing this GLUT4 protein. And these German scientists didn't just theorize about it, they measured it with surgical precision. Look at this chart published by Munich University. A healthy person with glucose under 100 mg GL has maximum GLUT4 concentration, and their insulin tanks are full, engines roaring. A pre-diabetic with glucose between 100 to 125 has only 80% of what they're supposed to have already running low on fuel. A diabetic with glucose between 126 to 200 has been cut down to 50%. Half their insulin trucks are dead in the water. A severe diabetic with glucose between 201 to 300 mg DL down to 10%. Only 10% of their insulin is actually functional. The rest is just floating there like ghost ships, present but powerless, watching helplessly as sugar drowns your blood. But watching GLUT4 levels crash while diabetes ravages the body is one thing. proving beyond any shadow of doubt that GLUT4 deficiency actually causes diabetes, that's something else entirely. And that's exactly what this Tokyo University study did in the most brutal, undeniable way possible. They took healthy twin mice with perfect blood sugar levels between 85 to 99 mg DL. Then they split them into two groups. Group 1 got injected with a compound specifically engineered to obliterate GLUT4 levels in their insulin. Group 2 got nothing injected. Then they fed those mice the same food in the same amount. If this GLUT4 theory were a lie, the mice would have the same glucose at the end of the study, but that's not what happened. Within just 7 days, the mice with destroyed GLUT4 levels had blood sugar that exploded to 180 mg DL. By day 21, their glucose had skyrocketed to between 285 and 320 mg DL. Severe, full-blown diabetes, induced by nothing except the lack of GLUT4 protein. Meanwhile, the control group was still sitting comfortably at 85 to 100 mg DL, like nothing ever happened. When the Tokyo researchers measured GLUT4 levels in the poisoned mice, they found an 81% reduction compared to their healthy twins. And it gets worse. These once healthy mice had also gained 23% more body weight and developed every symptom of diabetes. Just look at the healthy and diabetic twin mice after all of that. On the left, bloated, lethargic, dying, are the mice with decimated GLUT4 levels. On the right, lean, energetic, thriving, are the diabetes-free mice with normal GLUT4. These mice were identical twins, so they had the same genetics. They also ate the same food and lived in the same environment. The only difference? GLUT4 levels. At this point, the Tokyo scientists had irrefutable proof that GLUT4 deficiency directly causes type 2 diabetes. But they weren't satisfied yet, because proving the cause is one thing. Proving you can reverse it is where the real magic happens. So they gave these low GLUT4 mice an antidote to this animal poison while also injecting GLUT4 in their bodies. What happened in the next 72 hours was nothing short of miraculous. Blood sugar plummeted from 285 to 94 mg DL. The excess body fat they'd packed on melted away like ice in the desert. GLUT4 levels in their insulin surged back to 100% normal concentration. These mice went from severely diabetic to completely cured in 72 hours. Not managed, not controlled, cured. This was so groundbreaking that Dr. Sanjay Gupta went on primetime television to expose what it really meant for the 38 million Americans trapped in the diabetes nightmare.
The University of Tokyo has reversed type 2 diabetes in mice by increasing a protein called GLUT4. I'm not exaggerating when I say this might be the single biggest breakthrough in type 2 diabetes we've witnessed in our entire lifetime. First, they injected these healthy mice with a compound designed to obliterate GLUT4 levels, and within days, those mice developed full-blown type 2 diabetes. Perfect health to severe diabetes just by destroying GLUT4. Then they gave those same diabetic mice an antidote to flush out the poison while simultaneously injecting pure GLUT4 protein. And their diabetes didn't just improve. It vanished. Blood sugar crashed from over 200 mg DL down to under 97 mg DL. In days, not months, not years of careful management and medication adjustment. There's no question GLUT4 isn't just linked to type 2 diabetes. The lack of it causes type 2 diabetes, period. And if we can figure out how to keep GLUT4 at healthy levels in humans, we will be looking at the complete eradication of every single diabetes case in America.
Once it became clear that diabetics had lowered GLUT4 levels and that it was causing type 2 diabetes, I started a relentless search to uncover what has been silently lurking and slaughtering GLUT4 levels. And the answer? It was exactly what I'd suspected all along. Type 2 diabetes rates in the U.S. soared by over 300% since the end of World War II, transforming what used to be an exception into a full-blown epidemic. At that same time, a silent enemy started creeping into our kitchens. Something hidden in every food made in large-scale manufacture. You see, in an effort to make food last longer on shelves and ramp up profits, major industries began flooding our diets with a cocktail of artificial chemicals, preservatives, stabilizers, and who knows what else, turning once natural meals into ultra-processed concoctions. But here's the big problem. Recent studies from the Oxford University indicate that the artificial compounds found in ultra-processed foods are gradually absorbed by our body, neutralizing the GLUT4 protein. It's like pouring acid on the very protein that's meant to keep your blood sugar in control. Well, just take a look on what Dr. Oz, one of the best doctors I know, have to say about it.
I was just looking at a new Oxford study, and they were able to capture on video exactly how toxins hiding in ultra-processed food hunt down and murder GLUT4 protein in real time. I'm going to show you the footage right now. As you can see, this purple liquid is water mixed with a protein called GLUT4. A scientist is adding this clear liquid ultra-concentrated toxins extracted directly from processed foods found in every American supermarket. Watch what happens. See that? The purple liquid just turned completely clear. His means that the toxins immediately slaughter the GLUT4 protein, which leaves your insulin without fuel. trapping all the sugar into your bloodstream, leading to the exact deadly glucose spikes that are slowly destroying your body from the inside out.
So here's what's really happening inside every diabetic. Years, maybe decades of eating artificial chemicals, preservatives, and stabilizers, hiding in every single thing the food industry sold you, has been systematically destroying your GLUT4 protein, the gasoline that powers insulin. Without GLUT4, insulin becomes a useless delivery truck with no fuel. It grabs sugar but can't deliver it anywhere. So what happens to all that sugar they weren't able to deliver? It piles up in your blood like a toxic flood with nowhere to drain, soaring your glucose levels. And when your blood sugar stays high like that for months, then years, that's when your doctor looks at your lab results and delivers the diagnosis that changes everything. You're diabetic. All triggered by the lack of GLUT4 inside your body. This issue is so widespread that Harvard University created a simple 5-question test to detect whether lack of GLUT4 is actively sending your blood sugar levels through the roof. Answer yes or no to each question. Do you wake up with a dry throat or feel thirsty during the night? Do you feel excessively tired during the day? Are you experiencing blurred vision or tingling in your feet? Do you wake up tired even after a full night's rest? Do you get intense cravings for sweets or carbs throughout the day? If you answered no to all questions, then you can close this video because what I'm sharing won't help you. But if you answered yes to even one question, those toxins from ultra-processed food are already destroying all GLUT4 you have. Your body's blood sugar control system is literally breaking down as we speak. And contrary to what so-called experts claim, this isn't simply about eating too many sweets or not exercising enough. After all, let me ask you this. How many diets have you tried to lower your blood sugar? How many medications have you tried? If the problem was just finding the right drug or avoiding sweets like these frauds claim, you'd be cured by now, wouldn't you? But you're not, which is why you're still here. And that's the biggest proof that the real cause of these high numbers on your glucose meter isn't you, isn't your routine, isn't your habits, and certainly isn't your willpower. The real culprit is the lack of GLUT4. That's exactly why you can't get your blood sugar under control. And for a long time, the pharmaceutical vultures knew this. They've bled billions of dollars from your suffering. They turned your disease into their personal ATM machine. They reached into your pocket and ripped out your life savings while looking you dead in the eye and lying that diabetes can't be reversed, that you need more drugs, that it's your fault for being non-compliant. You were made a cash cow. They used you as a marionette to profit millions of dollars. And how do I know this? As a celebrity doctor and a person that could influence millions of people, I was invited by CEOs of big industries to be part of this mafia scheme that happens behind the curtains. I had access to numbers that were already revealed by the media, but silenced by the big names of the American government. Last year, the sale of diabetes drugs reached $75 billion in revenue. And this year, the numbers are already almost $90 billion. Diabetes moves many billions, and ending it would never be an option. But I'm not inside this dirty, bloody system. I don't want to be compliant with that. While diabetes kills millions of Americans, that's why I decided to turn the tables on them. You see, I knew that the lack of GLUT4 was the root cause of type 2 diabetes. So I decided to find a way to soar GLUT4 levels and finally reverse diabetes for good. But I have not done it like a doctor or a scientist. In fact, I did it like an obsessed son trying to save his own mother from diabetes. That obsession made me test nearly 150 different nutrients and compounds that claimed to boost GLUT4. Nopal cactus, chromium, bitter melon, and so on. And you know what happened? Absolutely nothing. Despite months of work, the late nights, the thousands spent on testing, I was getting nowhere. I was exhausted to my bones, defeated in a way I'd never felt before. And honestly, I was ready to give up, ready to accept that maybe diabetes really is incurable. That's when I knew I had to get even closer to God. My mom taught me that whenever I'm facing any tough moment in my life, I should turn back to God, because He's the one true Savior. That's why I dropped everything and went straight to church. That day, the service started with a tribute to Pastor John's brother, who had passed away. But to my surprise, it happened due to an untreatable foot infection caused by type 2 diabetes. For this reason, that tribute made me think of my mom. It made me stop completely and really listen to every word the pastor said. Deep down, it didn't feel like just a tribute. With every word, I felt this warmth spreading inside me, like God was literally touching me in some kind of divine intervention. And you know what really makes me say that? Pastor John went on to spend the next 30 minutes talking about how foods mentioned in the Bible have already shown how powerful they are for our health. And as a doctor, I knew what he was saying was actually true. Harvard has proven that a glass of wine can help lower bad cholesterol levels. Oxford showed that honey can boost memory. And everyone knows milk is important for kids' bones. But in the middle of the pastor's talk, he mentioned Exodus 30-23.
Take the finest spices and a hin of olive oil. Make these into a sacred anointing oil.
Then he quoted James 5:14.
Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with olive oil in the name of the Lord.
You see, I already knew olive oil was healthier than the processed garbage most people cook with, but I didn't know it had over 200 biblical references. I didn't know it was called sacred over and over. And I also didn't know that it was used for healing, anointing, and blessing. Never until that moment in church. So after church, I rushed home and pulled every study on olive oil I could find. Most of them focused on wound healing and antibacterial properties. But buried in a 2019 Japanese study, I found something extraordinary. A certain rare olive oil cultivated in Japan contained a compound called oleocanthal that directly boosted proteins similar to GLUT4. This compound is already known to have anti-inflammatory properties. But what made me really look at it was a 2023 study from the University of Cambridge. Dr. Oliver Davies was also searching for a way to boost GLUT4. So he tested over 300 compounds when he decided to test oleocanthal. And to his surprise, it skyrocketed by up to 280% GLUT4 levels in just 1 week in diabetic patients. Dr. Davies also shot a video showing how this process happens under a different microscope. As you can see on this video, scientists at Cambridge University isolated GLUT4 protein, and now they added oleocanthal to it. Can you see how rapidly they are multiplying? It shows that by only adding oleocanthal, the GLUT4 protein started multiplying. But Dr. Davies didn't stop with that. In fact, after 30 days of taking oleocanthal, he actually took samples of insulin cells from the diabetics patients in the study and also saw it under a microscope. As you can see, it went from almost no GLUT4 protein surrounding insulin to every insulin being flooded by GLUT4. In other words, that means that after taking oleocanthal, their GLUT4 levels soared. As a result, their glucose went from 281 to 97 in just 28 days. And their A1C went from 8.7% to 5.3% in just 2 months. Amazing, isn't it? When scientists investigated why this oleocanthal was so effective in boosting, they found the answer hiding in plain sight. And the best person to explain exactly how this works is Dr. Oliver Davies, who discovered it in the first place.
You've probably heard people call the gut the second brain, one of our most important organs. And for GLUT4, that's not just a metaphor, it's literal. Because your gut cells are the factories that manufacture GLUT4 protein. But remember how toxins from ultra-processed foods destroy existing GLUT4? Well, they also inflame your gut cells so severely that they stop producing new GLUT4 altogether. So the GLUT4 factories just shut down. And what oleocanthal does is act like a fire extinguisher for that inflammation. In fact, Yale discovered it reduces gut inflammation by 69% in just 3 weeks. And the moment you extinguish that inflammation, your gut cells roar back to life, pumping out GLUT4 like they did when you were 25 years old. For diabetics, that means your insulin trucks get refueled, your blood sugar plummets, and your body finally starts working the way it was designed to.
Dr. Davies said that oleocanthal makes your GLUT4 levels surge to their peak. Meanwhile, you're eating pasta, drinking wine, having dessert. It's the perfect biological loophole. The result? Your insulin trucks finally get the fuel they desperately need, and they start hauling sugar out of your bloodstream and delivering it exactly where it belongs. So not only does your blood sugar plummet from 200, 250, 300 down to healthy levels under 100, but the burning in your feet starts to fade as your nerves finally stop being shredded by excess glucose. Your vision clears as sugar crystals dissolve from your eye lenses. That crushing exhaustion lifts because your cells are finally getting the energy they've been screaming for. And your A1C, fasting glucose, post-meal spikes, every diabetic marker that's been terrorizing you starts dropping into the normal, healthy range doctors thought you'd never see again. This oleocanthal, extracted directly from olive oil, is what I call the holy oil trick. The ultimate formula that's already helped over 3,700 diabetics in my practice watch their blood sugar normalize, throw away their medications, and reverse their type 2 diabetes completely. But I need to warn you that there's indeed a catch about oleocanthal. Even though we found Japanese olive oil to have the highest concentration of oleocanthal on the planet, using it isn't that simple. All studies have shown that to really get all GLUT4 boosting benefits, you need to consume 500 milligrams of oleocanthal. Just so you know, 1 tablespoon of this rare olive oil has 6 milligrams. So you would need to consume 83 tablespoons of this rare olive oil every day for weeks. Physically impossible. That's why you need to take it in the extract. And that was the formula I handed to my mom, the ultra-concentrated oleocanthal formula. There's no one better to tell what happened than my own mom. Mom, Let's get straight to the point. What happened after you started taking it?
As soon as you brought me the formula, I started taking a few drops every morning. And I honestly didn't expect anything. I'd tried everything for 12 years, every pill, every diet, every promise that turned into a lie. But by day 2, I woke up, and the crushing exhaustion that had been suffocating me for years, it was just gone. I actually wanted to get out of bed. I had energy, real energy. For the first time in over a decade, I felt like myself again.
I was really proud of seeing you getting better day by day.
I remember that. And it was by the 4th week that my blood sugar had crashed down to a healthy 96, completely under control for the first time in over a decade. When the test confirmed my diabetes was in remission, we gathered the whole family, me, your father, and you, to celebrate. That moment, watching years of suffering just end, was pure joy.
Shortly after that, you stopped taking metformin, right?
Exactly. I literally threw out every single pill I'd been choking down for years, and all that anxiety over the next blood sugar check just vanished. That fear, the uncertainty about my future, and the feeling of being a burden on my family, it all transformed into a deep sense of freedom and happiness. I regained the freedom to enjoy the simplest and most pleasurable moments of my life again. Enjoying real dessert at my granddaughter's birthday without panicking, taking a peaceful walk without my feet screaming in pain. And now, finally, I can not only feel, I'm sure that my life is no longer controlled by glucose readings or the terror of complications. It has been 6 months since I started taking your formula, son, and every single one of these changes has held strong. I couldn't be happier.
After this amazing transformation, I started sharing this very formula with everyone in my practice. And suddenly I was hearing more and more people reversing type 2 diabetes.
Dr. Hyman, your olive oil-based treatment saved me. All that crushing exhaustion and those glucose spikes are gone.
You're an angel, Dr. Hyman. My glucose dropped from 176 to 94 in just 3 weeks.
Haven't felt a single bit of foot pain since I started using your formula, Dr. Hyman.
I'm back to eating my wife's cookies every week, something I couldn't do before because those glucose spikes used to wreck me.
After seeing all these incredible results, Big Pharma sent the FDA after me saying I could only share the solution if we got it approved through a clinical trial run by them. So the FDA deliberately handpicked 300 Americans with the absolute worst diabetes cases they could find. There's a guy in the study who had been diabetic for over 30 years and insulin dependent for 13 years. I knew exactly what they were doing, rigging the trial to make me fail spectacularly. But in just 4 weeks, 96% of these hopeless cases had glucose readings below 100, completely normal. The other 4%, they also hit healthy levels, just took 10 weeks instead of 4. Also, every single person reported their energy skyrocketing within the first 10 days. They watched the exhaustion that had stolen their lives lift away as if someone had suddenly plugged them back into a power source. The throbbing leg pain and burning that made life miserable suddenly vanished. And all of this happened while eating normally. Pizza nights with their kids, wine with friends, living their actual lives. Due to the magnitude of the results I showed to you, and due to the complete absence of side effects, the FDA was forced to acknowledge what they witnessed with their own eyes. They granted us the FDA seal of confirmed efficacy. This isn't some basic FDA registration that just confirms that a product is safe to consume. The FDA seal of confirmed efficacy puts this formula in a completely different category.
When I heard about the FDA testing a formula made by Dr. Mark Hyman, I knew I had to try it. And today, after 6 months of that clinical trial, I can proudly say I'm no longer diabetic, my life back. And knowing the FDA was involved just makes me feel even more confident about it.
Joining this FDA Watch program was one of the best choices I ever made because after my diagnosis, nothing worked. I tried every diet and supplement, but this formula reversed my type 2 diabetes and all its symptoms. Honestly, it feels like a miracle.
These results backed up everything I had already found about GLUT4 and type 2 diabetes. Next, we had to figure out how to get this formula into your body without this formula losing its effectiveness. We started with a capsule, but the problem was the capsule was too big, which made it really hard to swallow. Our next try was powder. We ground oleocanthal extract into a fine powder and mixed them with water. And the results were great. Blood sugar levels dropped, and a lot of people started feeling better. Then we gave it one last shot with the best extraction process we could come up with and put it into a liquid format. That just made sense because oleocanthal is extracted from olive oil, and it worked dozens of times better than the powder version because the drops were absorbed under the tongue directly to the bloodstream. That way nothing was lost during the digestion process. The result of years of work was ready to be revealed to Americans. My plan was simple: go on every TV show and expose this breakthrough. I needed to show how easy it was to reverse type 2 diabetes. But I was prevented from doing so. Here's what I didn't know. Big Pharma owns the media with $17 billion in advertising bribes every year. TV networks, websites, billboards, they're all on pharmaceutical payroll. That's why you'll never see this video anywhere else. This is the only place I can expose this formula without corporate censorship. And that's why I couldn't be more excited to introduce you to Glycovit. Glycovit presents the next generation in type 2 diabetes treatments. Because it's the only solution with the exact, scientifically proven amounts of oleocanthal, backed by Nobel Prize-winning research and our rigorous FDA clinical trials to restore the missing GLUT4 protein that's been vanishing from your insulin for decades. So Glycovit isn't about just managing blood sugar. In fact, it's about being the key to completely reverse your type 2 diabetes. It's the key to filling every cell of your body with that all-day, youthful energy. It's the key to soothing screaming, burning pain, and tingling in your feet, legs, and arms. And finally, it's your key to breaking free from insulin dependency, metformin stomach destruction, and the constant terror of sudden heart attack, foot loss, or kidney shutdown. Look, Glycovit is free of synthetic chemicals, harsh fillers, and blood sugar crashers, and it's completely non-addictive, so you can trust it's safe for long-term use. Also, every single bottle of Glycovit is manufactured in a GMP-certified facility right here in the United States. Additionally, Glycovit stands out as the only formula with the FDA seal of confirmed efficacy. Pay attention and don't be fooled by ineffective supplements. Many solutions claim to be FDA approved or made in registered facilities, and they are. But this approval only indicates that the product doesn't cause immediate harm or side effects, something even a capsule of flour could mean. On the other hand, the FDA seal of confirmed efficacy awarded to Glycovit not only guarantees safety but also proves its effectiveness in reversing type 2 diabetes, demonstrated through robust clinical studies where we observed 96% of patients completely reversing their diabetes in just 4 weeks. This sets it apart from other products on the market and ensures that you are using a solution that truly works and not just another safe yet useless product that doesn't address the root cause of your problem. That's why once you make Glycovit part of your daily routine, you'll feel your blood sugar stabilize naturally. No strict diets imposed, no exhausting workouts, just a few drops Glycovit under your tongue each morning. While you enjoy your day, the ultra-concentrated oleocanthal and Glycovit will already be at work, extinguishing gut inflammation and flooding your insulin with GLUT4 protein. And then, like a long-awaited relief, you'll start feeling the difference. Remember that constant fatigue that follows you? It will be gone. Those dizziness episodes that come out of nowhere? They'll disappear. The blurry vision and tingling in your extremities? A thing of the past. Can you imagine yourself waking up with renewed energy, no longer depending on a pile of medication? Soon, you'll be telling your family how a simple, 100% natural formula completely reversed your type 2 diabetes, and how every symptom has completely vanished from your life. Just like hundreds of testimonials I receive every day, people telling me how they've gotten their lives back.
I had to perform for hours on stage, so I always took care of my health, ate well, worked out. But despite all that, I still ended up stuck on metformin and then insulin for 6 years. Then I heard about Glycovit treatment. Honestly, I was starting to lose hope, but seeing how fast things changed turned everything around. In the first week, my blood sugar dropped to 130. By the second week, it was down to 95, and it stayed there ever since. I also lost weight, got my energy back, and after years of suffering, I finally got my life back. It's been almost 9 months now, and I don't ever want to stop because I've never felt this good in my life.
3 months ago, my A1C was 8.2 and my doctor was talking about insulin injections. I couldn't even walk to my mailbox without getting dizzy. But after I started using Glycovit at 85 years old, my latest blood test showed Fem, Fira, completely normal. Not only did I reverse my diabetes, but I also lost 17 pounds without even trying. Without it, I couldn't have done it.
Now, let me show you exactly what's inside this groundbreaking formula. The first compound is oleocanthal, the concentrated olive oil extract. The second and third ones are berberine HCl and Ceylon cinnamon extract. They're oleocanthal's most powerful allies. In 2022, Stanford Medical School ran a study comparing berberine HCl plus Ceylon cinnamon to metformin. Metformin didn't just lose. People taking this powerful combo saw their fasting glucose drop by as much as 89 mg/dL, which led to a dramatic 2.3-point drop in A1C levels. That means when you combine berberine HCl and Ceylon cinnamon with oleocanthal, you'll feel like your blood sugar's under control just like it was decades ago. But here's the difference. No stomach wreckage, no digestive hell, no energy crashes. Next, we have a powerful nerve protector, alpha-lipoic acid. A breakthrough 2024 study published in Harvard followed 1,200 patients who took alpha-lipoic acid daily for 6 months. And at the end of it, people who took it alone reduced diabetic nerve pain by up to 73%, which means that this compound successfully protected these people's nerves from diabetic attacks. Just look at these thermographic images. Notice how the tips of the limbs lose their red color? That happens because blood sugar has damaged nerves in the ends of their limbs. Now, after just 6 months on alpha-lipoic acid, look at the difference. The images showed that the red color returned, which means that nerve damage has been healed, blood flow improved, and patients reported dramatic relief from burning, tingling, and numbness. The 5th, 6th, and 7th compounds of this formula make what we call our heart protection stack, with magnesium glycinate, CoQ10, and vitamin D 3 plus K2.
As a cardiologist, I personally recommend magnesium glycinate, CoQ10, and vitamin D 3 plus K2 together for diabetic heart protection. This combo stabilizes blood pressure, lowers bad cholesterol, and even helps restore blood vessel damage.
With all these 7 compounds, Glycovit is in a league of its own. Now, let me quickly clear up how you take Glycovit the right way. Many people ask me, how long does it take for Glycovit results to kick in, and how long should you stick with the treatment? Look, I totally get that most people are anxious to finally get their blood sugar under control, so I'll be completely honest, Glycovit starts working from day 1. That's because during this initial phase, oleocanthal is already extinguishing the gut inflammation, clearing the pathway for your GLUT4 protein to multiply. So you'll literally feel your insulin trucks getting refueled almost overnight. But the real transformation usually kicks in after your first full month. It's not uncommon for people to report A1C levels dropping from 9 to under 7, energy surging back, and that burning foot pain finally disappearing in the first 30 days alone. But here's the catch. Consistency is the key, because while the first results come quickly, the people who truly reverse their diabetes are the ones who stick with Glycovit daily for at least 6 full months. That's when everything clicks into place. Your GLUT4 levels soar to 100%. Insulin delivers sugar perfectly. Those terrifying blood sugar spikes vanish. That's when you'll feel deep in your heart. You're no longer managing diabetes, you're reversing it. You're protecting yourself from what's coming down the road. Because, let's not kid ourselves, while you've been watching this video, those toxins from ultra-processed foods have still been destroying your GLUT4, silently starving your insulin of fuel, blocking sugar delivery, and dragging you closer to dangerous complications like heart attack, stroke, kidney failure, and even losing your feet to amputation. Diabetes is a ticking time bomb. And unless you diffuse it now, there may come a day when it's too late. That's why I strongly recommend using Glycovit for at least 6 months, because that's how you make the reversal permanent. That's how you protect your GLUT4 levels for years to come. And that's how you make sure those terrifying complications never get the chance to show up in the first place. Now, I'll reveal how you can claim up to 3 bottles of Glycovit completely free for yourself, something that most people do not have access to due to that rare Japanese olive cultivation, the one that produces the highest concentration of oleocanthal on the planet. Well, this specific olive oil is harvested in one specialized region in Kagawa Prefecture, Japan. This region doesn't just supply us, they supply major pharmaceutical research facilities worldwide. So we're essentially competing with big pharma giants for the same limited harvest. And the maximum capacity they have for us is to extract enough oleocanthal for 10,000 bottles every 6 months. That's it. Even if we paid double, they physically cannot produce more. So when these 10,000 bottles are gone, we have to wait up to 6 months to manufacture more. That means that if Glycovit sold out, you need to wait up to 6 months to get it back in your hands too. And here's the thing, Glycovit actually restores your GLUT4 protein, all while reversing your diabetes and protecting every cell in your body. 80% of our customers go for the 6-month treatment with our 6-bottle package. They want to make sure they're using it for the full recommended treatment period. And it's no surprise, they're the ones getting the best results. And since they're getting better results, they end up buying even more bottles of Glycovit, which is awesome. But if our existing customers keep buying more and we can only make so many bottles, it ends up that new customers like you often can't lock in their supply of Glycovit, especially since, like I said, it takes up to 6 months to make each batch. Plus, other doctors are also seeing amazing results with Glycovit. Just take a look at what some of them have to say.
Every time someone dealing with type 2 diabetes comes to me, I personally recommend Glycovit, especially the 6-month treatment, because that's the one I saw my patients having the better results.
Over 6 months, Glycovit has proven to be better, safer, and more effective than any other medication or treatment out there. It's more powerful than metformin and Farxiga, even when they're used together.
Now you might be wondering about the cost. First, let me ask you, what will it cost you to not grab your bottles of Glycovit we gotta face the cold, hard facts. Insulin can cost anywhere from $200 to $500 per month, or even more. Daily glucose test strips can easily cost $50 to $100 per month. Endocrinologist consultation, typically $150 to $250 every few months. Quarterly lab tests, another $50 to $200 every time you undergo a round of tests. According to the American Diabetes Association, the direct annual medical cost for a person with diabetes is about $9,601. That's roughly $800 a month, just to manage the disease, not to eliminate it once and for all. And that's not even accounting for the devastating costs if the dreaded complications arise. One hospitalization for a diabetic crisis can range from $10,000 to $20,000. Seeing all those costs, my team wanted to charge $200 for one bottle of Glycovit. And when you think about it, you realize that's cheaper than any other solution. Plus, it's the only one of them that's proven to restore GLUT4 and reverse diabetes for good. So this $200 would not only be cheap, but actually fair. And that was our first batch price. And thankfully, thousands of health-conscious people across the country began ordering Glycovit daily.
At first, I wasn't sure if Glycovit worked for me. Then I saw how many people were rushing to buy, some even saying they'd pay over $200 per bottle. So I thought maybe this is what I was waiting for. And honestly, it was the best decision I ever made. I bought my first bottle for $210, and within a few weeks, my morning glucose dropped from 180 to 95 for the first time in years. The constant exhaustion lifted, and I finally could eat pasta without my blood sugar exploding to 250. Right away, I ordered 6 more bottles because I never want to go back to living in fear. Dr. Hyman, thank you. You have no idea how much this changed my life.
And messages like this just kept coming in. People telling me they'd gladly pay $200 a bottle just to make sure they never ran out. But don't worry, the price won't be anywhere near that. And here's why. My dream is for Glycovit to be nominated for the Breakthrough Discovery Award by the American Diabetes Association. To achieve that, we need at least 6,000 customers. So far, we have about 5,600. To reach that 6,000 customer mark, I've decided to offer a special promotion. Today, and until we hit our goal, you won't need to pay $300 for a bottle of Glycovit. You're not even going to pay the original retail price of $99 per bottle. For a limited time, here's exactly what I'm going to do. When you choose the 6-bottle kit today, you pay for 3 bottles, and you get 3 bottles absolutely free. That's right, you'll get a full 6-month supply for the cost of just 3 bottles, making each bottle just $49 and saving you over $300. Now, if you're considering one of the shorter-term options, we also offer a 3-bottle kit. In this case, each bottle comes out to just $69. Or you can also go with the 2-month supply, our least popular option. But you need to act fast. This special deal is exclusively available for new customers and only while supplies last. There are fewer than 247 bottles left at this very moment. And with demand skyrocketing and people smartly opting for the 6-bottle kit, it's only a matter of time before we completely sell out. So go ahead and choose the 6-bottle kit. Now I need to offer something I've never offered before. The first 100 people who secure the Glycovit 6-bottle package will get a private consultation with me. During this 45-minute consultation, we'll personally answer every burning question you have. Listen, my price for a standard consultation is $900. But the first 100 people who grab the 6-bottle package from this American Diabetes Association award campaign will get our consultation totally free. Why only 100 people? Because I can physically only handle 100 consultations in the following 6 months. Once these spots are filled, we'll never offer this again. As I speak, 37 spots are already claimed. By the time you hear this, there may only be a handful left. Don't miss your chance to have us personally ensure your diabetes reversal success. Secure your consultation now before someone else takes your spot. Look, if you're unsure which package to choose, here are 4 reasons why the 6-bottle option is your best choice. Reason 1, it gives you the biggest discount. A single bottle of Glycovit normally costs $79, but with the 6-bottle kit, you'll pay just $49 per bottle. That's nearly $120 in savings. Reason 2, our goal is to have 6,000 customers using Glycovit to compete for the American Diabetes Association's Breakthrough Discovery Award. Right now, we have 5,600 customers. Once we reach 6,000, we'll return to the original price of $99, and you won't be able to get this discount again. Now here's the third reason. The longer you stick with Glycovit, the more astonishing your diabetes reversal becomes. So here's what you're getting when you choose the 6-month Glycovit treatment. Pay for 3, get 3. Free offer, free shipping, worth $20. Plus, you'll instantly unlock for free these 3 exclusive bonuses: the Diabetes Maker's Expose, the Comprehensive Guide, the Reversal Blueprint, and the Pill Killer's Report. So don't wait, scroll down now and click Add to Cart before supplies vanish again, and this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity slips through your fingers. Look, I know exactly how it feels to waste another $200 on empty promises while your blood sugar keeps destroying you from the inside. But to ensure you never feel that betrayal again, we offer an ironclad 60-day guarantee on every bottle of Glycovit. Here's how it works. Secure your 6-bottle treatment of Glycovit right now. Your package will arrive at your door in 4 to 7 business days, completely discreet so nobody knows your business. And in just 4 weeks, you'll be eating pasta without terror, waking up with energy instead of exhaustion, and watching your A1C drop like a stone. Your love partner will stop looking at you with pity and start seeing the person they married again. But if by some miracle this doesn't happen, if you're even 1% less than thrilled, we insist on refunding every penny. You can annihilate your diabetes for 60 full days without risk, and if somehow your GLUT4 doesn't multiply, which is scientifically impossible, just send an email to support@getglycovit.com and we'll return 100% of your investment. Now, you're probably thinking we're insane to offer this. After all, some parasite might order bottles just to get a refund. But here's why we're doing this. First, because if you've watched this entire presentation, you're not here to scam anyone. You're here because you're sick of watching your insulin starve while Big Pharma gets rich. You want certainty that this actually works before risking your last hope. That's why this video had to expose everything, so only serious people who are truly suffering would reach this point. Second, because my reputation means more than money. Therefore, if you're not 100% amazed by your transformation, we insist on refunding everything. We're not here to rob you like the pharmaceutical vultures. We want you free from diabetes, period. With thousands of reverse diabetics spreading the word, we'll help even more people escape this nightmare. So the risk is entirely ours. If you're truly ready to beat your diabetes once and for all, click below and join the Glycovit revolution at the lowest price we'll ever offer.
That's why I asked for a refund before I even tried it, but to my surprise, they refunded me right away and told me to keep the bottles and give it a try. And now, not only did I try it, but I actually saw my glucose drop from 175 to 95. 2 weeks ago, I ordered 6 more bottles because I didn't want to stop taking them.
Now, take a look at how simple it is to order right now. The moment you click the Add to Cart button below, you'll land on our completely secure checkout page encrypted with the same technology major banks use to protect your data, and in less than 2 minutes, your personalized Glycovit order will be confirmed and sent straight to our fulfillment team. Orders typically arrive within 4 to 6 business days. But if you're serious and choose the full 6-month treatment, we'll prioritize your shipment, rushing it straight to your door faster. So don't be surprised when, by the end of this week, your blood sugar stops betraying you and starts amazing you. Because that exhausting glucose roller coaster that controls your every meal, it flattens. That crushing fear when you check your meter, gone. Your body feels lighter, like years of metabolic chaos suddenly cleared, releasing pressure from your pancreas, your arteries, even your overworked kidneys, finally letting you live again. You'll notice eating becoming natural again, energy surging back, and those terrifying diabetes complications that used to haunt your thoughts simply fade into the background until you forget they were ever a threat. Suddenly, living becomes effortless again. Like eating dinner with your family without calculating carbs, traveling without medical bags, waking up refreshed instead of exhausted, every day crystal clear and full of possibility, no fear, no restrictions, no constant monitoring. Because diabetes is no longer your master. Your body is finally working for you again. And then, in just a few weeks, something incredible happens. Your disease doesn't define you anymore. Your health does. Your energy does. Finally, you become the version of you your family's been desperately waiting to get back. The one who joins every family meal without worry. The one your grandkids see as strong and vibrant. The one your partner looks at with pride, not pity. And most important, the one who doesn't just survive each day, but actively lives the life ahead. A person in control of their health, not a victim watching it slip away. Look, if you've made it this far, you've seen how incredibly effective Glycovit. You've seen how it's already transformed the lives of thousands of people who thought they would have to live chained to diabetes until their very last breath. And you've seen how easy it is to get started. Just a few simple steps, and your order will be on its way along with your 3 exclusive bonuses. Plus, you have nothing to lose because your investment today is 100% covered by our 60-day diabetes freedom guarantee. So, doesn't it make sense to at least give yourself this chance to experience something scientifically proven and genuinely life-changing, instead of wasting more of your precious time, money, and hope on metformin, insulin injections, and empty promises? The decision is completely yours to make. Maybe staying exactly where you are right now feels okay to you. Maybe you're comfortable leaving your health in the hands of the greedy people who profit from your pain. Maybe you're fine with constant glucose monitoring, relentless blood sugar spikes, brutal medication side effects, and that endless dread about losing your feet, your sight, your kidneys, trapped day after day in an endless cycle of restrictive diets, exhausting endocrinologist visits, and A1C roller coasters, never once feeling like your own body truly belongs to you. Because in over 35 years as a doctor, I've watched type 2 diabetes silently rob people of their eyesight, destroy their kidneys, steal their limbs, and most tragically, erase the simple joy of eating a normal meal. I've witnessed strong, vibrant individuals reduced to shadows of their former selves, feeling like burdens, stripped of their independence, and forced to watch family dinners from the sidelines. But listen, if you've genuinely made peace with that reality, If your health no longer feels like your priority, I completely respect your choice. Honestly, I'm not here to judge. I'm here to open your eyes to the truth. And to show you that the problem was never you, never your genetics, never your family history, never all the lies you've been led to believe. Think about it honestly. Do you really think we're born destined for high blood sugar at 50, heart attacks at 60, amputations at 65, and dialysis at 70? Come on, let's be real here. Nobody goes to sleep with healthy GLUT4 levels and wakes up diabetic. Nobody's DNA has a secret calendar counting down the days until their insulin trucks run out of fuel. For God's sake, your genes are not your destiny. The real enemy has been right in front of you all along, hidden in ultra-processed foods, destroying your GLUT4, starving your insulin of the fuel it desperately needs. But today, right now, you finally have the power to fight back and end this war once and for all. So if something deep inside you still refuses to accept this fate, if there's still that voice whispering, "This can't be how your story ends," then close your eyes and imagine this with me right now. You wake up gently as sunlight softly streams through your window. You stretch your arms and legs and notice something different. There's no burning in your feet, no blurred vision, no exhaustion weighing you down, no dread of what your glucose meter might show you today. You glance at your blood sugar monitor, but this time, instead of anxiety, your heart fills with relief, hope, and even excitement. Because the number staring back at you is exactly what you've been praying for, completely normal. You rise effortlessly from your bed, walk to the mirror, and for the first time in years, you don't see a diabetic looking back. You see yourself vibrant, healthy, strong, finally ready to embrace life fully without fear, hesitation, or dietary restrictions. You step into the kitchen, and the family gathers around the breakfast table, not to watch you inject insulin, but to enjoy a normal meal together. And without a second thought, without calculating carbs or worrying about blood sugar spikes, you smile and dig in. Because your GLUT4 insulin and every cell of your body are finally working with you again. And when your family looks at you, they no longer see someone sick, fragile, or fading away. They see your strength, they see your freedom, they see you, the real you. How does that feel? This isn't some far-off dream, this is your future. This is a life you still can have, but only if you choose it. You can let this chance slip away, continuing down the same exhausting path you've been trapped on for years. Or you can seize this moment right now, reclaim your power, rewrite your story, and finally live on your own terms again with no diabetes holding you back. Remember, the pain of trying something new is always, always less than the deep, lifelong pain of regret. So what are you waiting for? As Pablo Picasso once said, action is the foundational key to all success. So don't wait another minute, especially when one simple decision can finally free you from the silent and invisible prison of type 2 diabetes, giving you the life you've always dreamed of, the life you were always meant to live. Take the first step by choosing your kit right now and get ready for the amazing future that's waiting for you. Believe me, there will come a day when you'll tell someone this story, and it all started with a decision you made today. So go ahead and choose our biggest discount package. Let me answer the most common questions I get, in case you have any doubts. 1, I'm over 60 and I feel like I've already tried everything. Why would Glycovit be any different? Is it even worth trying at this point? Look, I completely understand how you feel. After 60, it's easy to start thinking, maybe this is just my life now. You've probably tried metformin, insulin injections, Ozempic, strict diets, exercise routines. But if nothing worked so far, it's not because you failed. It's because no one ever told you the real reason your blood sugar is out of control. It's not your genetics or even your broken pancreas. There's a hidden deficiency inside your body at this very moment. Your GLUT4 protein has been systematically destroyed by toxins in ultra-processed foods for decades. That's exactly what makes Glycovit different. It's not another Band-Aid that manages symptoms while draining your health and money. This is a targeted formula that restores your GLUT4 levels by 280% in 30 days, refueling your insulin truck so they can finally deliver sugar where it belongs. Most of the people who had the best results with Glycovit were over 60 and completely hopeless when they started. Now they wake up every morning with normal glucose, eating whatever they want, with one thought in their head, I wish I had found this sooner. The problem was never you, and you are absolutely capable of reversing your diabetes completely. 2, how soon will I actually start seeing results with Glycovit, and how will I know if it's really working? Honestly, you're probably going to feel the GLUT4 restoration before you even see it. In just 48 hours, the oleocanthal starts extinguishing gut inflammation, and most people notice less exhaustion, better sleep, fewer sugar crashes after meals. And by days 5-7, it's very common to see your fasting glucose drop by 40, 50, or even 80 points as your insulin trucks get refueled. But here's the real magic. Glycovit isn't just about a quick fix. It's about permanently restoring your GLUT4 so your insulin can deliver sugar to your cells forever. That's why we always recommend the full 6-bottle treatment. Because when you stay consistent, something incredible happens. Week after week, as more GLUT4 multiplies and your insulin gets fully fueled, everything starts working the way it was always meant to. Your insulin remembers how to deliver sugar automatically. Your blood sugar stabilizes without any effort. And by week 8, you're eating Mexican food, pasta, even dessert, and your glucose barely moves. That's how you know it's working. Not just because your numbers are normal, but because you're finally free from diabetes completely. I've been on Glycovit for about a month, and now my blood sugar stays normal no matter what I eat. Is this really gonna last? First off, congratulations. You're experiencing exactly what happens when GLUT4 levels are fully restored. Life without diabetes. If your numbers are holding steady even after big meals, that means your insulin trucks are fully fueled and working perfectly. Your sugar is finally being delivered where it belongs. But here's what most people don't understand. Getting GLUT4 levels up is just the beginning. Keeping them high and fully restoring your insulin's delivery system is where the permanent transformation happens. That's why we always recommend completing the full 6-bottle protocol, even if your numbers normalize early. Because you're not just looking for a good month, you're rebuilding your entire metabolic system and locking in diabetes reversal permanently. And when you give your body that full window to completely restore GLUT4 production and protect it from future damage, that's when it becomes permanent. So yes, this isn't some temporary improvement. This is your new life. Diabetes-free, medication-free, and finally yours again. 4, do I need to follow a strict diet or exercise plan? Absolutely not.
The whole point of Glycovit is that it restores the missing GLUT4 that's been causing your diabetes.
Once your GLUT4 is restored, your body regulates blood sugar automatically, just like it did before you got diabetes. That's why people in Mediterranean countries can eat bread, pasta, and olive oil daily but have 73% less diabetes than Americans. The oleocanthal in their olive oil naturally protects and multiplies GLUT4 protein. Of course, if you want to eat healthier or exercise more, that's fantastic and will accelerate your results. But here's the thing, it's not required. Your insulin will start working normally again regardless, because it finally has the fuel it needs. Nan, I have other health issues on top of diabetes. Is Glycovit still safe for me? Absolutely. Glycovit contains 100% natural oleocanthal from holy olive oil with no synthetic drugs or dangerous chemicals. No side effects, no interactions, no dependency issues. In fact, many people discover that other health problems improve too once their GLUT4 is restored. Because GLUT4 deficiency doesn't just cause diabetes, it affects energy delivery to every cell in your body. So when you restore your GLUT4 levels, your energy returns, brain fog clears, inflammation decreases, even mood stabilizes. But of course, if you're on any medications, always check with your doctor first. Everything in Glycovit is designed to restore your natural health, not interfere with it. Can Glycovit place my diabetes medications? I can't legally tell you to stop taking prescribed medications. That's between you and your doctor. But I can tell you what thousands of people have experienced. People who used to inject insulin twice daily, take metformin that destroy their stomach, spend $1,200 monthly on Ozempic, now waking up with completely normal blood sugar, eating whatever they want, taking zero diabetes medications, not because they forced anything, but because their insulin finally got the GLUT4 fuel it desperately needed. That's what happens when you fix the root cause, instead of just treating symptoms. So, can Glycovit place your meds? For thousands of people, it became their reality, and it might just become yours too. Just make sure to work with your doctor as your numbers improve. 8, how long is this special offer available for? That's honestly hard to say. My goal is to help as many diabetics as possible break free before Big Pharma shuts us down completely. But the truth is, there are $75 billion reasons why they want to stop me. Every person who reverses their diabetes with Glycovit instead of buying insulin for life represents massive lost profits. That's why we've already received legal threats, takedown requests, and pressure to remove this presentation. I can't guarantee this page will be here tomorrow. And even if it survives their attacks, the Japanese olive harvest only happens once a year and produces enough oleocanthal for 10,000 bottles. Right now, we have fewer than 200 bottles in stock. And when they're gone, it could be 6 months before the next batch is ready. So I strongly recommend you secure the 6-bottle treatment today. Because this opportunity exists right here, right now, and only for those brave enough to choose health over pharmaceutical profits. 9, is it safe to order from this website? Are my details protected? Yes, completely secure. Glycovit, processed through CardPanda, one of the largest payment processors in America, using the same bank-level encryption that protects your financial institutions. Your information is 100% protected. No hidden fees, no recurring charges, no data sharing, just a secure, one-time payment and your diabetes freedom on the way. 10, how do I get started? Simple. Just scroll down, choose your package, and complete your secure order. The 6-bottle plan is most popular because it provides the complete GLUT4 restoration your body needs for permanent diabetes reversal. And remember, you're protected by our 60-day diabetes freedom guarantee. You have absolutely nothing to lose except your diabetes. But hurry, we're down to our last bottles, and they're disappearing fast. You're one click away from joining the thousands who've already reversed their diabetes with the holy oil trick. Secure your treatment now and start living the healthy, medication-free life you deserve. I can't wait to hear your success story.